Good evening, mentors. I would like to welcome everybody on behalf of E-Construct Master Study Group 8. So, before starting, I would like to submit my DBRs. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Neerav Raj Purohit. I am from MS20 batch and I am pursuing for Master Study course, Composite course at E-Construct. And now let me introduce to my excellent mentors. Mr. Sandeep Pingle. He is the founder and MD of E-Construct, and he has helped us, like he has solved all the problems and he has given all the solution to our problems. Miss Shraddha Pingle, she is the JT manager of this company, and she has helped us with the soft skill, and she has boosted our confidence to speak up on the stage. Mr. Pakhyat sir is the BIM engineer of this company, and he has helped us in all the BIM problems which we have faced, which our group has faced. Mr. Tadagat Biswas is the project coordinator of this company, and he has helped us with the Bittrex account, how to manage it, how to manage the day-to-day. So let me introduce to my team members. First of all, Shubham Rakshit and Aman Jain. They are the structural engineer of my team, and they have mostly worked on the superstructure. Thirdly, I would like to introduce Asfaq Shiklodi and Lokesh B. They are the they are the structural engineer, and they have worked on the substructure on our project. And last but not the least, Rahul Chandra. He is the only BIM engineer in our team. Thank you. Now proceeding towards the project, sports complex, and this is the brief summary on what we are going to present further, like the amenities, localities, and superstructure, architectural plan, and more. So it is located in Dharwad, Hubli, which is the...
I'll be discussing all these topics, and I'll start from the architectural plan. So actually, we need the architectural plan so that we can know, like, in which areas certain, like, when we want to find out where certain areas are located in a building, like, architectural plan helps us. So I'll directly get to the plan. So this is the ground floor plan. So once you enter the building, we have the reception lobby. So the reception lobby will have a carpet area of about 120 meters square. So through the reception lobby, you can access to the cafeteria. So the cafeteria has a sitting capacity of about 50 in total, including the sit out. So I'll tell the carpet area for the inner cafeteria, that's about 297 meters square. And the sit out, which also has a lovely view of the swimming pool, has a carpet area of about 52 meters square. To the right, we have the indoor gaming zone, where we can play table tennis, carom, chess, etc. And it has a carpet area of about 113 meters square. And just beside the indoor gaming zone, we have the administrative office. So the total area is about 104 meters square. So that's for the ground floor, and we'll go to the first floor. So in the first floor, we have 4 badminton courts, and the total area is 873 meters square, and beside which we also have a squash court. It has an area of 100 meters square. So in the second floor, we have a well-equipped gym, children play area, that's 100 meters square. So along with that, we have also provided attached shower rooms for the gym, and then we have dedicated washroom in every floors depending upon its demand. And then we have also provided lift connectivity in all the floors. So that's all for the architectural plan. So this is the structural framing plan. So we can see the columns, beams, and shear wall placements in this. We'll understand. So the specifications of materials, we have mainly used concrete and steel. So concrete mix, we have used M30 pertaining to IS 456, and steel sections, FE 250 pertaining to IS 800. So these are the caudal provisions. We have used IS 875 part 1, 2, and 3 for dead, live, and wind load. And we have used IS 456 for concrete, IS 1893 for earthquake, IS 800 for steel, IS 1172 we have used for water supply and drainage, AIS E36010 we have used for structural steel buildings. That's all for me, and the further presentation will be continued by Lokesh.
For the substructure and also for the superstructure. And now I'm going to explain for about
mode, it should be greater than 65%. In our case, it is coming 67% for some UX and some UI is coming 71%. So this is also okay. And for very last mode, it should be greater than 90%. So in our case, it is coming for both some UX and some UI 92%. So here all the model checks are also okay, and our team will confidently say that our building holds good in the model behavior. Next slide. So after checking all the stability checks and model checks, we will come forward to the design part, that we will check the element or the section that we are choosing for our design or the structure design are capable of taking that load or not. So we will use the software ETABS for that. And here are some snaps which claims that all the frames are passing and capable of taking that load, and all the frames are passing the design check. So this is the check for a steel frame. Can you go back? This is the check for steel frames. Here all the steel frames are passing the design check. Next slide. This is the check for all the concrete frames that we use for the plinth beam construction. So these are also passing the design check. This is the beam rebar percentage. Here all the beam rebar percentage comes under the limit, that is below 1%. This is the shear wall design. We have designed the shear wall in the software ETABS and detailed it. And here ETABS will give the longitudinal area of steel and the horizontal shear area of steel, that is longitudinal mass and the stirrups area. These are the values which is not showing, but it is in the detailed report, it is there. This is the demand versus capacity ratio. Here all the values and all the demand versus capacity ratio comes under the limit which is less than 1. And for that boundary element, it is coming from base to second floor 345 to 230 mm. This is the design check for that shear walls. Now further slide will explain by our substructure engineers.
Good evening, everybody. This side is Ashfaq, representing from E-Construct Design and Private Limited. And here we will go with the foundation design. That is, go previous slide. Before starting with the foundation design, we have to deal with the superstructure, and you have seen that every stability checks has been passed and preliminary detailing also be done. And now further we will move with the foundation design. Okay, next slide. Here you can see the grouping according to the size, according to the load we are coming on the each column. We have grouped. You can see these grouping assignment we have done, like F1 of the same size and the footing, and like this is another grouping, and this is another grouping. Here there is a combined footing followed with the shear wall and a column. Next. And these were the forces that we are getting, ranging from 1000 to the 4000. And for the combined footing, here we have got 3600 kilonewton of force. For that, we have assigned a size of ranging from 2.6 meter by 2.6 meter of depth, 500 mm. And then according to the load coming, we have increased the size and the depth.
Three.
Three.
Okay.
We consider 3.
What is the reason not for going for 4 or 5 or something like that?
We wanted to get, for safer side. So we have considered 3 to get better result.
And what is the basis for that?
What's that?
What is the base?
Bracing.
Base. What is the...
Base was a concrete, RCC
So
column.
it's a steel, like composite, right?
Yes, sir.
So is there any guideline?
There is
for
a
that?
base plate, no, sir.
Okay. So Any further this thing actually, I mean like any RR ratio or something like that that you could have got it? The BIM model, I think, yeah, one of the team member was got sick. Okay. Okay, but overall it's a very good performance. Thank you very much.
Thank you.